Hi everyone. In this video today, I'm going to talk to you about the pros and cons of living in Fairfield County, Connecticut. So if you're interested, stay tuned. Hi everyone, it's Jennifer Lockwood, your local realtor today in Fairfield County, Connecticut. And I'm going to go over with you the pros and cons of living here in Fairfield County. First, let me just start off by saying, where is Fairfield County? So the state of Connecticut is one of the smallest states in the United States, and it has 8 counties. Fairfield County is the most southwestern part of the state. We are closest to New York City. We're only 50 miles northeast of the city, right along the coastline. So we're on Long Island Sound, and then we're bordered by Litchfield County to the north and Housatonic River to the right. It is right along, like I said, Long Island Sound, so don't expect big waves here. We are on the Sound. You have to go further east in the state of Connecticut to get actual waves and to be on the ocean. But we still have a wonderful shoreline. It's miles and miles long. It's made up of 24 towns. 4 of them are the largest cities in the state. We have Bridgeport, Danbury, Stamford, and Norwalk. And then all the other towns are vastly different from one another. The area is mostly hilly, flat terrain till you get to the northern part of Fairfield County, where you'll find a little bit more elevation. Fairfield County is often referred to as the Gold Coast of Connecticut, which is because we are number 6 in the United States for per capita income. It is one of the most affluent areas in Connecticut, right along the shoreline. And let me talk really briefly about housing, because I could really get into very long detail about housing because every town is completely different. So depending on what lifestyle you're looking for and what price point you're looking for, is going to guide you into what town. Like I said, we have some rural towns and then the coastline and some areas that are more populated. So if you want to be in a dense population, then those are the areas that you're going to gravitate to. But it is a higher cost of housing in this area. In the entire Fairfield County, which includes the cities, the median sale price is $552,000. And that is relatively high compared to the rest of the country. And I will put up a chart for you to show you the median price point within each town so you can see how much they vary. Number 1 pro is location. Location, we are, like I said, 50 miles northeast of New York City, which is an awesome location to be able to run in and out of the city and enjoy everything that that city has to offer, and then come back and live in your suburban town for the lifestyle that you might be looking for. We have the Metro North train station that runs right along the coastline. There is a stop in every town along the coastline, sometimes 2 stops. In Fairfield, there's 3. There's also 2 commuter rails that go up north in Fairfield County. So there's one out of Danbury and one out of New Canaan, with stops along the way to bring them down to the Metro North and into the city. We also have Amtrak. So the Amtrak stations are in Stamford and Bridgeport, and that can take you all over the country. We also have the Bridgeport Ferry. That ferry brings us across Long Island Sound to Port Jeff, which is a really wonderful day trip. We have many airports to get to that are only an hour away. You can get to JFK International Airport at LaGuardia, Westchester, if you're lucky enough to get a flight out of there, because it's right over the line. And then we also have Bradley International Airport, which is out of Hartford, and that can be an easy ride as well. So there's lots of airports and ways to get around and travel. And what's really great about this location is that you don't have to get on a plane to travel somewhere. So we are only 2.5 to 3 hours out of Boston. Vermont could be 2 hours, 2.5 hours, and New Hampshire, where you can enjoy, if you ski, they have great ski locations and foliage in the fall. Also, Washington, D.C. is only 5 hours away. And then there's all these great vacations in the summertime where you could go to Cape Cod, the Jersey Shore, Delaware, Maryland, and they're all within a 5-hour or less radius. So there's lots of opportunity for travel without even getting on an airplane. The second pro is the Connecticut beauty. There is so much to enjoy, not only in Fairfield County, but in Connecticut. So the state, like I said, is small. So from one end to the other, maybe 2 hours. In Fairfield County, there's lots of foothills There is hiking and biking trails. Of course, I mentioned the shorelines, so in the summertime you have the water activities, and boating is hugely popular, and fishing. Plus we have lakes in the northern part of Fairfield County, beautiful lakes if you like freshwater fishing or if you want to be living on the lake. When I mentioned about hiking, we have many conservation areas, and every town has hiking trails, which is one of the things I love about this area, and you can do that all year round. Pro number 3 is enjoying all 4 seasons. I love spring because after winter, once spring comes and everything starts to grow and get green, that is just my favorite time. Summers can be warm, it can be hot. We had a pretty oppressive summer this last year. It's not always like that. I think it averages around 87 in the summertime. It can be humid and hot, but that's what's so great about the shoreline and enjoying the water and the beaches and the lakes that we have here. So there's always a way to enjoy that type of weather. Then there's the fall. It is my favorite time in Fairfield County because we get to enjoy everything that the fall has to offer, which is the leaves changing, there's apple picking, pumpkin picking, hay rides, corn mazes. We have incredible wineries here, in not only in Fairfield County, but all throughout the state of Connecticut. And it's so beautiful in the fall when you go on these wine tours. There's also hundreds of breweries. There's quite a few here in Fairfield County and all over the state of Connecticut. And then lastly is winter. This is probably the most dreaded part for a lot of people. They don't like winter. It gets cold. You don't get below 0, but you know, it could be 10 or 20. For a while. We can go in spurts. I actually love that because I love to do outside skating. We also have outdoor rinks. There's one in Westport. There's some around, so you can enjoy that as well as far as enjoying some winter sports. And if you're a skier or a snowboarder, we have some areas within Connecticut where you go ski for the day, but also Vermont and New York State, they are only 2.5, 3 hours away. New Hampshire is only about 4 hours away. You can find more difficult terrain and altitude not that far away to enjoy the winter months. And the 4th pro is the schools. Many people do relocate and move here because of the school systems. We have highly rated school system throughout Fairfield County. I always guide my clients to greatschools.org and to niche.com. Many of the towns in Fairfield County are on the top list of the best schools in Connecticut. Pro number 5 is the restaurants and dining. There are hundreds of restaurants in Fairfield County, and it has evolved into a dining experience. We have farm to table, fine dining, casual dining. The outdoor dining has really evolved into something since the pandemic, and many restaurants have developed some sort of outdoor seating. Okay, so let's talk about the cons, because there are some negatives to living in Connecticut. I did a previous video on the cost of living. That's a number 1 con. It is really expensive to live here. It is the number 2 taxed state in the United States. So we get taxed for just about everything. We get state tax, property tax, gas tax, car tax, sales tax, you name it. So you have to be prepared that we do pay a lot in taxes. And the cost of living is high due to that. We also are number 3 cost for electricity in the United States, so our electrical costs are quite high. And also the housing is expensive. Like I said, the median price in all of Fairfield County is $552,000, and that is quite a bit above the national average of $230,000. Now these numbers are changing. This is as of when I'm recording this video. Numbers have gone up considerably since the pandemic, and they're still continuing to rise, but not at the same level that they were rising. But we have seen an increase in the cost of living and in the cost of housing here in Connecticut. And in Fairfield County, it's even more expensive than in other counties when you compare. It is the most expensive within the state itself. And then the last con is traffic. I've done a previous video about pros and cons of some of the other towns, and traffic always came up because it was rush hour traffic where people were going into the city or to Stamford into work. But things have changed since then as far as people working from home, more people are on the roads now, so they're not using the train as much as they used to. You go by the train station, it is maybe 25% full. So a lot of people are now on the road. So we're not only seeing rush hour traffic, we're seeing traffic randomly. So I always suggest to people to get on your Waze or on your Google Maps before you go somewhere, so you really know how long it's going to take you, because you could just hop on I-95 on a Saturday morning and there's traffic. You really can't tell anymore. And we're hoping that that changes, that people start to feel more comfortable and get back on the train. There seems to be a lot of traffic from here to New York City, really any day of the week. Before we used to kind of get a reprieve on the weekend, but not so much anymore. So that is another negative of living in this area. I think people that come here really love the fact that they can enjoy the beauty of Connecticut, have an active lifestyle, live conveniently, 2 locations that they can get to easily with all of our transportation, being close to the city, and yet have a shoreline and water activities and lakes and hills and conservation and hiking. So I do think that that is the biggest attraction of living here in Fairfield County. If you would like more information on these different towns, because really it's going to be your lifestyle you're looking for and your price point that's going to determine where you would want to live. But feel free to reach out to me anytime. I'd be happy to help. I'll put my contact info at the end of this video, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.